Shalom. Kol Holo Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Raha Hakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four corners of the globe. My name's Barad Debal, coming to you from the GMS campus, Indianapolis. And to all those listening and learning, to you I say Shalom, especially to you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians that make up the 12 tribes of Israel. Today is just go over a lesson. We'll do again spiritual thoughts, but I have several scriptures that have come to mind based off of this particular topic. And the topic for today, and the thought of today, is uh, a world uh, full of a narcissistic world we live in. Something to that fashion. Okay, this is a world full of narcissistic people. All right. And what do I mean by that? Well, we look up the general meaning. Of course, you go deep into it, and you find that there's a lot more to it. But here's just a general statement. It says, I guess with the definition, it says a narcissist is a person who shows an extreme focus on themselves, an inflated sense of their own importance, and a deep lack of empathy for others. Now, um, going into the definition, it says an individual showing symptoms of or affected by narcissism, an extreme self-centered person who has an exaggerated sense of self-importance. All right, and you see how certain words that are coming up extremely, because there's nothing wrong with having a sense of self. There's nothing wrong with having a sense of importance or where you stand. Of course, when you listen to the men, the men of the Lord, uh, and you and Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, he himself, he speaks with authority, so that could actually get confused when people when we speak in a frame of um, you should be listening to us, or when we speak as in we have the 100% truth. However, the world will try to make flips, try to manipulate the truth, because the truth is what the truth is. And if these men don't have it, then who do? All right. But in any case, I wanted to bring that out because um, I must say that there's a lot of terms and that insults that are get thrown to the men of the Lord, and then when you go into these statements, you find that the very people who push and throw these terms or statements are the very ones who are the actual, in this case, narcissists. So we're gonna go into some things. Um, there was another thought I wanted to bring out. Let's just go into the chat. I did a chat GPT and just and now it doesn't want to come up. See, um, this is the second time I've done this. Third, actually. Here's my spelling. Try to help see if it'll help me find it. Okay. And so, question, are narcissists prideful? It says yes. Narcissistic people can have a very prideful, can be very prideful, especially when their self-image feels threatened. Because we're living in a world. Uh, let's read further. Actually, no. Let me finish this thought. We're living in a world where, when you look at social media, everyone, when you look at just people in the world, everyone wants to put their best foot forward. When you're in sales, you're representing the company is telling you about a product, they let the product, uh in times past, the product would sell itself. That would be the thought. But and now they have a lot of, um talking about how great their service is. The product may not be, um up to par. And in this particular case, it'd be the people. The people aren't really up to par as far as, sticking to a standard, like keeping the laws and the commandments of Yahweh Bashim Shai, being truthful, having integrity. Many people hide behind, the image in which they created. So when you see social media, you do your TikTok, your Facebook, your Instagram, um, and where everyone has a channel and everyone has something they want to speak on, and people get on and they sound very, very good. But what happens is that a lot of those same people who get on the channels and get to speak, they show you, the best images of themselves, and people believe in those images. And then come out, you find that these people are pandering to men, they're pandering to women, they're only online to make money. They have a certain type of, they have a ulterior motive. And when those things start to crumble, you start to see them act a certain way. And what you're going to see in today's time, that the Lord is revealing who his true men are, and he's revealing the hypocrites, the narcissists, those who have this inflated pride or inflated, uh thing about themselves, right? And, it says need admiration and recognition. So when you go to work and you find it's always trying to accomplish something, and win the praises of people so that you can actually move up in the world, right? What can you do for me, and be on is on the other side, in order for me to do for you, right? Having difficulty admitting mistakes and being wrong, that's a big thing, because of course, according to, Proverbs, you know, reproof and instruction are the way of life. Getting reproved and corrected is a way of life to a, so-called black, Hispanic, and Native man, woman, and child. But the world that we live in, people are amongst a bunch of friends that are just yes men. They don't tell you when you're doing wrong. They just agree with you. Agree with you just to be friends, right? Afraid to lose friends by speaking the truth. It says feel entitled to special treatment. You don't give out special treatment, but you don't reciprocate special treatment. The scriptures talk about, giving good to, quite in good terms. So if someone do good to you, you do good to them. That would be a, reciprocation. They'll be like, do unto others as you would have others do unto you. That would be reciprocation. But this world has a sense of me, me, me. Like, look at, I'm doing a lot of talking. We're gonna get into it. It says, react strongly to criticism, disrespect, or rejection. Don't necessarily. It's pretty much getting checked. It's pretty much getting corrected. It's pretty much getting reproved, being told, the truth. All right. So this is why when we are out in the highways, the byways, and we're preaching or we're teaching, we have so many people get cut by the scriptures, because they know the scriptures. It tells us in the Hebrews how, the word of the Lord is sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing through, the flesh, pretty much getting into the spirit. of that person. And when they receive the criticism, a lot of times they find it as being disrespectful, or they get hurt and they want to fight, they want to hurt back. All right, they feel it as rejection. It says to try to maintain an image of being superior, successful, and in control. Does that not sound like America, also known as Babylon the Great? Let's start with this. Let's get the scripture. It says one important distinction: pride by itself doesn't mean someone is a narcissist. So there's a you have a light sense of pride, but everything should go back to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So I'm going to touch on these scriptures. I have several scriptures. This is Second Timothy chapter 3 verse 1. It says, "Know this also, that in the last days perilous times shall come." Why? If everybody is prideful and you can't tell anybody anything, you can't correct anyone about anything, then when they get checked, or when these type of people clash and they feel rejected and they hurt, and they say, since I got hurt, I gotta hurt you. I gotta make you feel the hurt. I gotta make you feel the pain in some way because of the hurt you caused me. Well, like for example, if people are driving, you see a lot of times road rage. These are sense of pride. You're driving, somebody honks the horn, you get upset because the horn got honked, then a middle finger's thrown up, say looks are being said, words are being exchanged, then it escalates, and there have been many occasions where um, guns have been drawn and people have been shot and unalive. This is how quick this type of spirit can get you caught up. Okay, how quick things can change instead of like the Lord saying, "Be peaceable with all men." In many cases, we do have to take the low. Okay, we also have to understand that we are in a sheep amongst wolves, so we must be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Okay, it says, for men shall be lovers of their own selves. That's a narcissistic type of um, personality. Lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy. So pretty much, it's really all about me. Is what these type of people are, and they don't care how the words that they speak. They don't care about being disobedient. You can tell by their actions and how they move, how they speak. Like the Lord said, you can know them by their fruits. People speak a good way, and this is the thing about people. When you look in the world, they speak a certain way, but then you watch their actions. That's where you can tell that you can find the hypocrite, right? Like the scriptures again, it's opposite of those things. Like I said, when James says, "I have faith," like if you have faith and not works, he says, "I'll show you my faith by my works." So the things in which uh, we go out and we teach, we work on the same things. We practice what we preach as the men of the Lord. And so when we go into work, school, grocery stores, and our daily life amongst brothers, whether we being seen or unseen, we know that the angels in Yahweh Shem Shai sees all things and knows all things. So we act accordingly. We fear that Yahweh Shem Shai would get us for things such as being covetous, boasters, proud, right? It says without natural affection, and that's a great thing in this world, and that's how when you look at going to statements of a narcissist, things about a narcissist, they actually have what's been said, a mask. They show you a certain way, uh, certain terms, like they love bomb you. They give you all these different appreciations and love, where they talk about their love language, and these are just different terms, hovering, and all these things to show that they're really in love with you, and just to drop your guard. And then once the guard is dropped, then there's a situation where they start to have an expectation from you because they're out to get something from you. And once they get it, they continue to bleed you. Like the scriptures say in Proverbs, it says, a horse leech has two masters crying, give, give. When you look at a horse leech, these are blood suckers. They suck the blood. And what is the blood according to what Yahweh says? The blood is the life thereof. So they attach themselves to a life force and they get as much out of you as they can, whether it be economic, like fund, money, whether it be housing, whether it be for sex, uh, whatever they desire that they can actually receive from that particular person. All right. And not giving anything back in return. Again, remember, this is all about them. Without natural affection, truce breakers, they'll quick to break a covenant if it doesn't work out for them. Look at America. America had set like over 200 plus 300 plus treaties with the natives and broke every one of them. Especially when they found that, oh, hey, there's oil in this land. We gave them this land, but there's oil there, or there may be gold here, and then they break the treaty and they do atrocities and certain things to get get that land because they feel that uh, they were more important. Propaganda, that's another thing. Name calling, calling them savages, just so that they can justify their actions when they go to, as John 10 and 10 says, the thief cometh not to steal, but to steal, kill, and to destroy. So again, just dealing with the mindset, and it just brought these things: incontinent, undisciplined, fierce, despisers of those that are good. So when they see the good in people, this world come against it. What does Scripture say in Isaiah? He that depart from evil maketh himself a prey. So when you are starting to do good and move away from good, what does it tell you? I think I always I get it mixed up sometimes, but it's also in the New Testament where it says people speak evil of you. They speak evil of you because you don't go in the same excess of rioting and reveling. You've changed. Is what they say. You've changed. In actuality, if you're in the spirit of Yahweh Shemi Awashai, you're changing for the better. So the focus is for us to work on ourselves to be better for who? Yahweh Bashim Yahweh, so that we may grow and hopefully our fruits, our actions follow us as being actions of righteousness. You know, loving the brotherhood, loving your family, doing well for your family, working, because we're in a society, being peaceable again, like I mentioned before, to all men. But here's the spirit: traitor, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of the Most High. This is a narcissistic society, right? Having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, which such turn away. These type of people, or these type of people in the world, have this grandiose spirit, all right? And um, and you can see it when the Lord has opened our eyes, you can see this in on people. All right. This is the book of Ecclesiastes or Sirach chapter 10 verse 2. As the judges of the people himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the rulers of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. When you look at um the elite, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, these top elite banking families. You can see it all through the movies because they run the movies, they run the media. You hear Trump, he's the president, and you hear how he speaks, boasting himself amongst his own NATO members, speaking proudly to them, putting tariffs on them because he didn't get his way. We put tariffs on everyone, and so when you look at the officers and you look at the leaders, you look at the um, everyone that's ruling, I mean running, that has some form of authority, especially how they treat the so-called Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans who actually don't have any power in their hands. We have no power, no might to do anything physically, and they are the most taken advantage of people in all the earth. This is the book of Jeremiah. I want to end with that one. This is Second Ezra chapter 8 verse 50. It says, "For many great miseries shall be done to them in the latter time, excuse me, in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they walk, or because they have walked in great pride, and because of that, you can't tell them anything." The Lord said, man, He's all that are prideful shall be made low; all that exalted shall be base. The Lord alone shall be exalted in that day when He returns. So everyone that is prideful is going to have a rude awakening. All right, and this is why you see the plagues happening. They're worshiping other idols. They're worshiping themselves. Um, they believe that I am the greatest. I am the best, or whatever. All right, and so the Lord is going to deal with the pride of the people. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 13. It says, "The fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride, arrogancy, and the evil way, and the forward mouth do I hate." And they speak very forward, okay? Because if you're speaking only about yourself and what you receive and what you need, and you put pressure and punishment on those around you, or a lot of, it looks like a lot of these be relationships where it really comes out and they show themselves. But in any case, because you have to deal with people, but the Lord hates pride, right? Um, this is the book of Proverbs. Well, it's the book of Proverbs. John, excuse me, John chapter 2, 6, 4 and 6. It says 4 through 6. Um, well, no, I had a reason for that one, but let's do this one. Um, and I actually want to say this because I don't think I got the scripture, but since I went into that walked in great pride and that arrogancy, the scriptures do say pride goeth before destruction and a haughty spirit before the fall. And this is the most proud nation. When you could actually be homeless and be offered, and say you want money, be offered food and and reject it. Or you could be homeless. We've had people come up to the camp who were homeless and talk mad crazy. I believe scripture talk about a poor man that's proud, and we got a bunch of poor. We got tons of poor here in the Americas. Proverbs chapter 3, 7, 5 through 7, it says, "Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not to thy own understanding." A lot of people lean to their own understanding and they run with it. They believe that their understanding and their emotions and their will to win, right, is in their own hands. And that's where a lot of delusion trick bags happen. Lean not to thy own understanding. That's pride. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. So we acknowledge Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. We give all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. We understand that everything that happens on this earth, however you would like to see it, judgments, rewards, blessings, curses, are all from Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Be not wise, prideful in thy own eyes. fear Yahweh Bashim Shai and depart from evil, because that's evil. I'm gonna get this John anyway. This is First John chapter 2, verse 4 and 6. It says 4 through 6. He that saith I know him and keepeth not his commandments is a liar, and the truth is not in him. Because these people will come in like wolves in sheep's clothing. Again, they'll have the form of godliness. These same people, this is supposed to be a Christian society. You got churches on damn near every block. People have the Bible in their hand, in their car, in the hotels. But yet at the same time, this is the most adulterous generation. Like the Lord said, it's a wicked adulterous generation. It talks about in the Proverbs, oh, how lofty are their eyes. Their pride is lifted up, and it needs to be brought down. But whosoever keepeth his word, in him verily is the love of the Most High perfected. Because if you keep the commandments, you're gonna commit adultery. You're gonna again do unto others as you do to yourself. You're not gonna have desire to have another man's house. You got people stealing cars and food and all kind of things that are happening, and it's going to only increase when times get rough because that's what they're going to fall back on. Whatever power they think that they have, guns that they have, they're going to then utilize it and turn on each other because again, everyone's out for just self. Hereby know we that we are in him. He that saith he abide in him ought himself also to walk, even as he walked. And when we understand Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, when he didn't revile back, actually he blessed, he healed everywhere he went, he fed the people, he gave, gave. And we understand what much is received, much is required. And what did he tell Peter? If you love me, feed my sheep. And so the men of the Lord will be what? Feeding the flock, this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. The rest of the world, or those that are not of the elect, will be doing what? Take, take, take. Scriptures talk about freely receive, freely give. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 9, verses 23 and 24. It says, thus saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom. So, you learn things because knowledge puffeth up. See, knowledge will puff you up. You start gaining a little knowledge, start gaining a little money because of your knowledge. Now you got a house, you got a nice car, you got your family look good because of your knowledge. Now, you're in that uh I like to say that Kanye West spirit. Wait till I get my money right. Can't tell me nothing.
Oh, excuse me. Were you looking for a suitcase or anything?
No, sir.
All right, thank
All
you.
right, thank you. It says, neither let the mighty man glory in his might. Let not the rich man glory in his riches. And see, this is America. This is America. This is what they do. They look down upon you because because they have one up on you. They look down upon you because they don't necessarily have one up. They have a sense of entitlement, a pride in which they feel that they deserve better than you. They have a little bit better. They may have something better than you, but that's only for a time. Again, the Lord talks about people having their consolation on this side. See, There's no greater prize than having this truth. But let not the rich man glory in his riches, but let him that glorieth glory in this, that he understandeth and knoweth me. So if you're going to glory in anything, glory in the fact that the Lord gave you this knowledge, this wisdom, and understanding, and be thankful. See, he tells you in all things, give thanks to who? The Lord, because this world don't thank you. They don't appreciate your labor of love like Yahweh Bashim Shai does, and they'll tell you the bare minimum. You've ever heard that the bare minimum that I am the Lord which exercise loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness in the earth. Again, everything is under His control. He says, "For all these things I delight," says the Lord. So if you delight in the things, if you delight in thrones and scepters, you're going to delight in the wisdom of Yahweh Shai. You're going to do the things that are pleasing unto Him and not your own self. So again, this is just was a spiritual thought. Hopefully you got something from it that is edifying to the elect body of true believers. Before I like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahah Hakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four corners of the globe. Until next time, all those listening and learning to USA, Shalom.